Who's got time to write a fresh cover letter for each job application? It's very far from fun. Over the years, I've seen probably thousands of cover letters, and I want to share with you what top candidates do to stand out. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips to write a cover letter that gets you job interviews. But because I've been where you are, I had to write my own share of cover letters in my own career, and I know how painful this process can be. Most of you would agree with me that it's very far from fun. So I'm going to show you how to make this process so much easier so you can write your cover letter quickly and still get results. And welcome back to Career Rebels, the best place for resume, job interview and job search advice that actually gets you results. And on this channel, I cover the best tips on how you can land the most competitive jobs with top salaries. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing. But let's get into the things you will need right now to start with your cover letter. I don't think I've ever met a single person that actually enjoys writing cover letters. I know I never did. And if you are one of these people who hate the idea of creating a cover letter, let me know in the comments below. And if that's you, you may be tempted to skip the cover letter altogether and submit your resume only. But there's something you need to know. A recent study showed that over 50% of employers prefer candidates who submit a cover letter with their application, and there's a very good reason for that. A good cover letter can help you show your interest in the role, your passion for the company and the position, and your strongest points. It also helps you demonstrate that you know how to convey your ideas in a clear, concise, and compelling way, and that's a very valuable and attractive skill. So here are the top tips to help you achieve this and write a winning cover letter. First step, one job, one cover letter. Here's a golden rule of cover letters. You should always write a new cover letter for each job you're applying for. That's because prospective employers want to know that you are excited about the specific role they are advertising and their company. And right now you might be thinking, who's got time to write a fresh cover letter for each job application? And I can't blame you. But don't worry, I'm about to give you a shortcut to do this very quickly. First of all, you don't need to start from scratch. To make your life easier and to make sure you are using proper business letter formatting, I would actually suggest using a free cover letter template. So if you quickly Google cover letter examples or cover letter samples, you will be able to choose from thousands of quality cover letter examples. And you don't have to spend much time selecting the right cover letter sample because we want to customize it anyway. I just want you to use these shortcuts because I want to make this process efficient for you. But the reason why we then want to customize it is because I also want it to be very, very effective for you. So we're targeting efficient and effective. Number 2, tailor your cover letter to the specific job. Okay, so once you have a cover letter template, we need to tailor it to the job you're applying for. And the first thing I want you to do is reference the role you're applying for, the actual job title. Here's an example. I am writing in response to the opening for the Business Development Manager position at Google. Sounds simple, right? But let me share with you a quick story. Many years ago, I was reviewing job applications for a company where I was working. And then I got a new application and I opened the cover letter and started reading. Dear hiring manager, I'm very excited about working at your hotel. Problem was, I was definitely not working at a hotel. So this candidate just grabbed an old copy of a cover letter without proofreading, without customizing it, and sent it to me with their application. So don't be that person. Put a little bit of work into it and show that you're interested in the job, show that you care. Because if you don't, you will really struggle getting job interviews. And I suspect some of you might be thinking right now, why does it even matter? Shouldn't my experience be the most important thing? And yes, you're partially right, but think about it from the perspective of a hiring manager. If I have 100 job applications, how do I pick the top 3 or 4 people to interview? Naturally, I'm going to select people who are already trying really hard, because whether you like it or not, the hiring manager is thinking, okay, if you're not trying now before we even offer you the role, how committed will you be to the job after you're employed? So the hiring managers and recruiters are using the effort you put into your application as an indicator of your future performance. And there's also another reason why you want to reference a specific job. Because if a hiring manager is recruiting for several positions, then you just want to make their life easier by mentioning the job you're applying for. You don't want them wondering, like, what job do you want to have? Because I've got 9. And when creating a professional cover letter, you should also avoid using phrases like, to whom it may concern. Instead, try to find out who is the hiring manager for the role and address the letter to them. And if you don't have the name of the hiring manager, you can try calling the company and asking them. You can also check the company website or their social media accounts or LinkedIn. So to sum up, don't use generic statements like "Dear hiring manager" or "Dear human resource manager, I would like to apply for a role at your company." Wrong approach. Instead, be specific and address your letter to a real person. Use the hiring manager's name and mention the specific role and the name of the company. Next step, show, don't tell. The second thing I will need you to do is reference 2 to 3 skills that a potential employer is looking for. So we're getting a little bit more advanced here. And this is very important. Try to avoid vague and generic words like energetic or driven, because writing things like "I'm a hard worker with excellent communication skills" might be true, but it's not actually helping you. Why? Because it's a cliche and everyone is saying this, and you're not actually including any evidence that backs up what you're saying. Instead, focus on measurable results you've achieved in your previous positions. If you want to show that you are indeed driven, think about examples that show that characteristic. Remember that you're trying to show that you are different from other job seekers and that you are the best candidate for the role. So here's an example. You could write, "I can offer you 2 years of experience in marketing and operations for top-tier IT companies." Here's another example. Let's say you want to mention your technical skills in digital marketing. Instead of mentioning this experience in a vague way, you could use a specific example showing what you have achieved. For instance, "I grew company's email subscriber list from 150 to 3,000 in 12 months. It's things like this that can be absolutely irresistible to hiring managers. And all you need is 2 to 3 examples of your skills. Your cover letter doesn't have to be an essay. In fact, it's better if you keep it short, concise, and to the point. Try to fit it on 1 page. And hey, if you've been getting value out of this video so far, hit the like button. And now, point number 4, highlight your value. The next powerful tip is to list 1 to 2 examples of how you can add value to the company's business. First of all, read the job description and figure out what the problem this role is trying to solve for the company. Then explain how your experience can resolve those problems. Now, what do I mean by this? For example, here's an actual job description. The company is looking here for someone to support the marketing department by scheduling and organizing events and webinar programs. The problem the company has is that their department organizes a lot of events. They need someone who can help them run everything smoothly. That's the problem they have. You would need to provide an example of how you have previously solved the same problem at another company. For instance, for the past year, I've been responsible for organizing and managing over 30 internal and external webinars, consistently receiving positive feedback from all attendees. And once again, you can keep it short and sharp. Focus on what makes you the best fit for the company. The most important thing is that your cover letter is tailored to the job description, same as your resume. And if you're not sure if your resume is properly tailored to the job, I wrote the whole guide on how to optimize your resume to get the job interviews. If you want a free copy, I will include the link in the description below. And I think that will help you understand how you can submit the best job application possible. And the next step is something I am very excited about because not many candidates do this, but if you use this technique right, it can be very powerful. But first, a question for you. What is the hardest part about writing a cover letter for you? Comment below and let me know. And now point number 5, address any concerns up front. Your cover letter can help you achieve one important thing that your resume might not be able to. You can use it to address any significant concerns. For instance, perhaps you have employment gap. You can use your cover letter to explain it. Or maybe you're changing careers. Lots of people are doing it, moving to a completely different industry. If so, you can highlight your transferable skills. But there is a right and a wrong way to go about it. For example, let's say you don't meet all the job requirements. Even if that's true, you never want to apologize for any missing experience. You may be tempted to use phrases like, despite my limited experience in this industry, or while I may not have sufficient experience in marketing. But this is a completely wrong approach. Because when you apologize for your lack of experience, you are drawing attention to your weaknesses. So instead, focus on your transferable skills. For instance, you can write, I am very excited about the opportunity to translate my experience in your old role, your degree, to a position that is more focused on what you'd like to do next, the role you're applying for. That way you can address any concerns up front and increase your chances of being offered a job interview. And of course, that all assumes that your resume is spotless. And I did actually make another video on the most common resume mistakes that can sabotage your job search. You can click or tap the screen and check out that video. And hit the like button if you got value. Don't forget to subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in a future video.